Caitlin, and I'm going to be filming this video about the time that I found out that I was pregnant while I was a college student. So the reason why I'm starting my channel is because I went through something pretty difficult and I want to spread my message to a bunch of people who are going through similar things, and I want people to realize that you get put in a certain situation because you're able to handle that situation. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. So if you're watching this video and you're a teen and you found out that you're pregnant, or you're in college and you're young and finding out that you're pregnant, that you're able to do it and it's not the end of your life. You'll be okay, I promise. So my mom is here with me right now. She's going to be asking me questions about the time that I found out that I was pregnant in college.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
So take us back to just tell us like a little tiny bit about how your relationship was with the baby's father before this.
So when I found out that I was pregnant, I had actually just turned 19 a month before. So my relationship with the baby's father was pretty much perfect. I thought that everything was going fine. We had known each other since we were probably 7 years old. We played soccer together our entire life. We were inseparable best friends. Like, we would hang out almost every single day together. And everything was going great. We thought we were going to get married. We had planned our entire lives together. And it was awesome.
But when you had talks about your life together and what it would be like, how did your view of what you wanted your life to be like differ from his?
So my ex-boyfriend, so the baby's father, his belief pretty much was your child needs to go to school, to a private school. The father needs to provide, the mother needs to support. Pretty much a traditional view on having kids, and that you need to have a lot of money, and you have to do it in the order of you graduate college, you get a job, you get a house, you are financially stable, and then you can have a family. But my idea was definitely not the same as his. So I went to public school my entire life. My parents didn't have a lot of money. They had a decent amount, but nothing like crazy. And both my parents work. I mean, I want to be able to provide for my children as well as the father. So I don't care about money as much as he did. And I also knew that everything in life doesn't happen in a specific order. I feel like if something does fall out of place, it doesn't mean that your whole life is ruined. And I think that was the main difference between us.
That you were more able to adapt to different situations.
Yes. So I feel like in my life, I've had to overcome more things, I guess, in general than he did. So I think that I could overcome a situation like that.
Yeah. All right. So then everything was going really well. If I remember correctly, you guys were supposed to be going on family vacation with his family again that week, and you just weren't feeling so good. But it had been quite a while that you weren't feeling so good. That you were on birth control at the time, trying to be safe. But after like a few weeks of complaining that you weren't feeling well and you felt nauseous a little, and your boobs were sore, and like you kept waiting for your period to start and waiting for it to start, and it just never came, I kind of freaked out and was like, wait a minute, what if you're pregnant? So tell us what happened next.
Okay, so my mom thought that I was pregnant, or she wanted to just make sure that I was not, because I had been worrying about it a lot. So she drove to the store in the middle of the day and went and like secretively bought a pregnancy test for me, brought it home, And she's like, okay, Caitlin, we're going to just take this so you don't have to worry anymore. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll take it. I mean, I don't have anything to worry about that. Well, I didn't think I had anything to worry about. So we went upstairs in the bathroom. She gave me a cup. I peed in the cup, and she takes the little stick and dips it into the cup and pulls it out. And usually when you take a pregnancy test, it takes probably like a minute to like 3 minutes for the line to show up. Nope. Mine showed up in about 5 seconds. So I saw that and I was like, wait, what does that mean? Because like I've never taken a pregnancy test before. And my mom just looked at me and she was like, and I was shocked. I had no idea what was about to hit me in my life. No clue. So she's like,
we were both like in denial.
Yeah, I did not think that it was real. I was so scared. I was so nervous. Like everything was going through me. Every emotion possible. Like I was sad, I was happy, I was scared, I was nervous. Everything in between. And then my mom decided that she was going to call the pregnancy test company and ask them if it could be wrong. So she actually did call them. I don't remember. What did they even say?
I don't even know.
It doesn't matter. So,
it was right.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, it's probably right, I guess. And then that still did not assure her. So she went and bought 2 more at the store and made me take them. The ones that literally say pregnant.
You're pregnant.
Yeah, you're pregnant. And I took those, and what did it say? You're pregnant. Yeah. So right after that, I called the doctor's office and made my first appointment because I knew that I was keeping my baby. That's the one thing that I definitely was sure of.
And how were you so sure? Why were you so sure? Like, what in your life have you thought of, like, abortion or adoption, or like, I know you and the baby's father had quite a few conversations about it because of like all the political things that were going on during the election that year.
Okay, so the baby's father, so my ex-boyfriend and I both agreed that before I got pregnant, that abortion is wrong in most cases. I mean, it's a pretty strong belief compared to many. Like, I believe that if you get pregnant and you know that your baby might pass away because they have something wrong with them, that you should still have your baby in case, like, to donate organs, such things like that, because you're saving another baby. Just because you know that your baby's going to pass away doesn't mean that you should take away the chance that another baby would be able to survive, which I think that's pretty important. But so the baby's father and I agreed that abortion is wrong in most cases, and that if I got pregnant, that I would not have an abortion because I could provide for the baby. Not financially. So my parents had always reassured me that if anything had happened ever, that they would help me because they agree that abortion is not the right choice.
Yeah, so it was like we wanted you as a young woman to be safe and have safe sex and take the precaution of birth control, but we wanted you to always know that if anything happened,
that you were there for me,
that you did get pregnant, that we would be there for you and that you could come to us and we would support you either way.
Yeah.
I think we always made it pretty clear that we don't believe in abortion,
but it was okay.
We believe in somebody else's choice to have one.
Yeah.
And if you ever did want to have one, that we would support you, even if we weren't happy about it.
Yeah.
But that we would help you in any way we could to help raise a child if you ended up in a circumstance like that, which we hoped would never happen.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Which I was deathly afraid of getting pregnant before it happened. It was one of my fears, and if you continue watching this channel, you will find out that everything that I am scared of ends up happening to me.
You gotta get rid
So
of some fears, girlfriend.
if you're scared of something, I mean, I was definitely afraid of being pregnant, and it happened, and I'm okay. So
You got through it.
yeah, I got through it.
All right, so after you found out that you were pregnant, and you say you knew right away that you were going to keep the baby, then you had to call and tell the baby's father.
Yeah.
How fun was that?
So what happened was I was sick that whole morning, like I had said. I didn't feel good. This region was not feeling too nice either, and I was sick to my stomach. But I have had a lot of stomach issues in the past, so I didn't think like, oh, you're pregnant. Definitely not. So I was like, oh, the baby's father, I'll be up to see you probably tomorrow because I don't feel good. But little did he know that I was in the middle of like taking a pregnancy test and found out that I was pregnant. So when I went to call him, I'm like, oh, did I say I need to call you? I don't even think I did.
You texted him and said, I need to talk to you.
Something like that. So then I call him because I'm pretty sure he knew that I had been worrying about possibly being pregnant because I had missed my period for like over 5 weeks or something, but that's not abnormal for me either.
Yeah.
It's happened in the past before, not because I was pregnant, obviously, just abnormal cycles and such like that.
And
my birth control messed up my period so bad. So like before, when I was on the birth control shot a couple years ago, I didn't get my period for over 1.5 years. So I was totally used to having it all over the place.
Yeah.
So I call the baby's father on the phone and I tell him, I'm like, yep, I'm pregnant. And what does he say? I don't want to say it on the channel because it's a little not nice.
A lot of swears.
A lot of swears. And he had never sworn in front of me before, which is weird. So he's like, beep, 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 beep. And just so pissed off and like screaming into the phone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Like, this is not the type of person that I knew in the past.
So right off the bat, it was
not right to me.
Yeah.
So then he tells me, oh, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I need some time to process this. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? Be like, no, you have to talk to me right now.
Well, you could clearly tell how upset he was.
He was very upset. So then, I mean, what's next? Like,
well, then the next day when you guys talked.
So the next day when we talked, at first, so the night before and into the early morning of the next day, he was like, I'm going to quit school. I'm not going to college anymore. I need to go get a job so I can pay for the baby. And
this is on text. Right?
Yeah, this is over text. And then in the morning, he's kind of saying the same thing. Well, I need to provide for my kid and going off in his text. But then he's like, okay, can I call you? And this was probably in the afternoon. And he calls me and he's like, I want you to get an abortion. And I was like, what? Like, I never thought in a million years that he would tell me to get an abortion because we had talked about it before. His family, to me at the time, seemed very against that also. I mean, not that that has to do with making a decision because you don't have to do what your parents agree with. I mean, either way, but I don't know.
It does form like
your opinions, I guess. It helps.
Yeah.
But it does not have to be the end-all, be-all opinion.
Yeah.
So he tells me, I want you to get an abortion. And I'm just like, no, it's not going to happen. And he's like, are you kidding me? Well, actually, wait. Once he said it, I actually hung up the phone because I was so upset because I didn't think, like, how is this happening? Like, you are not the person that I thought you were, I guess.
Yeah, and it was just emotionally, it was just, I think you kept shutting down, like whenever you would talk to him in those first few days, because it just wasn't the reaction that you thought it was going to
Yeah.
be, and you didn't know what to do with it, and you like literally couldn't even like talk. Like you literally were in shock, like complete shock first that you were pregnant.
Yeah.
And then second, complete shock that his reaction was like completely the opposite. That you
Yeah,
ever
not
thought
what
it
I
would
thought
be.
it would be. I understand that being, finding out that your girlfriend is pregnant when you're both teenagers is not the top of like, oh, that's amazing. I'm so excited. But like, at least be supportive, I guess, and not rude.
Well, you both have good families. You both come from good families.
Yeah.
With your parents are married. You both were in school.
Not saying that matters completely.
Yeah, but you were. But it did. It just was a different circumstance. You both are in school and college.
Yes.
You were both doing well. You were both going to graduate and have good jobs probably. Yeah. You had a good support system in place to go through this together, but he didn't seem to feel like that was going to happen. He just felt. What do you think he was feeling? What do you think his emotions were?
I think that he was mostly scared and I think embarrassed because he didn't tell all of his family that I was pregnant ever.
Yeah.
The entire time that I was pregnant. That's a different story if you'd like to watch.
Yeah.
But I think he was just nervous and felt like he had no control because what he wanted me to do was not what I was going to do, and that he couldn't do anything about it. I mean, you can't force someone to go get an abortion. So I think he was very scared. And then he talked to his mom about it, and the advice that she gave him was not the best, in my opinion, the way that she tried to talk to him.
But we won't share that.
But I won't share that. But I think some of the things that she told him swayed his opinion of what should happen when I got pregnant.
Yeah.
So
and then, over the next like week or so, it kind of escalated to getting even worse.
Yeah. So over the next week after I knew like I'm keeping the baby, whatever, I ended up going to the hospital because I was so sick. I was throwing up everything, wicked dehydrated, couldn't keep anything down, and I was like nauseous and lightheaded and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to the hospital and then meeting with the baby's father at the end of my driveway because he wouldn't come up to talk to me because he was so...
Wouldn't come in the house.
I
wanted to face me and Dad.
Yeah, but also, like, so that was that. And then I went in the car with him and he just, like, reamed me out pretty much, like, pissed, making fun of me, saying I'm an idiot, that I'm ruining my life, that I'm ruining both of our lives, and this is stupid, and why do you care about this thing in you because it's not even a baby, and just was flipping out on me. And I just sat there and cried because I was so upset. I literally had no idea. I was still in shock that he was acting like this, so...
I think we all were.
Yeah, everyone was shocked. He was not in my head the type of person who would act like that at all. So it scared everyone. Like, everyone was shocked. Not just my family, but all my friends and all of my parents' friends that knew him.
Really well.
Really well, because we had spent the last 2 years together, being together 24/7 pretty much, and they all knew him. So... after that, he was like, you need to get an abortion, you need to get an abortion, you need to get an abortion, and told me all, like, over and over. And I said, no, I'm not. Like, you're not going to change my mind. He'd be like, well, too bad. Like, you're going to. I was like, no, I'm not. So the last time I went and spoke with him was actually at a parking lot in one of the towns near me. So my mom dropped me off, and I went in the car with him and talked to him and told him reasons why I should not get an abortion, and this is your child and you should care about your child and his life. Well, I didn't know it was a boy yet, but you know. And that was the last time we spoke. We both just sat there and cried and were so upset because both of us, like, I don't know, it was just completely shocking to both of us.
But that wasn't your last conversation.
Oh no. So the last time that I have spoken to the baby's father was on the phone. When I was on the way home from my job, I was talking to him. And then I came home, went in my room, I was still on the phone with him. And it was maybe 11:30 at night. And every night I usually go upstairs and say goodnight to my parents when I would get home late. So my mom knew something was up. She walked down the stairs and into my room, and she heard the baby's father on the phone with me. And the last thing that I've heard him say to me was, "I hope you fall down the stairs and the baby dies." So my mom hung up the phone on him, and that's the last thing I've heard from him.
Literally.
Yeah, the last thing out of his mouth after being together for 2 years and wanting to get married and everything.
But I just want to say, I know this is your video, but I am so proud of you that after we hit that button, that you didn't call him back, that you didn't try to connect with him, that you kind of saw him for who he really was, and that you walked away. It was the smartest decision you've ever made in your life, besides keeping your baby.
That's true. Thank you. But also something that I think I haven't mentioned though is that he also like accused me of cheating on him. He accused me of like trying to steal his parents' money, that I didn't take my birth control because I purposefully got pregnant. A bunch of, well, you've heard those.
But
But
I have.
yeah, so I got told all of
Well, I
this.
think he just like, it was like,
He
I
wanted
don't
to
know,
blame
like
me.
a cornered person just like changed completely his personality and attacked you with everything he could think of to try to get like break you down, like totally break you down, like telling you that you were gonna like live with your parents forever.
Oh yeah.
You were gonna be fat, no boy was ever gonna like you again, you were gonna be the worst mother in the world,
Which
you're
is
young.
not true,
Never.
people. You'll see if you continue watching these videos. Just saying.
And I think that he just was so desperate to try to convince you, and it was like almost a way of bullying to try to convince you to do what he wanted. And when that didn't work and you stepped away from it, it was quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been quiet ever since.
Very true.
Caitlin, after like talking about all this and what you went through when you found out you were pregnant and how your boyfriend kind of didn't react the way you thought he was going to at all, or how any of us thought we were going to, what kind of advice do you have for like young girls who might be going through something very similar?
So, if you have a boyfriend or a partner, whatever you want to call them, that is not supportive of you when you find out that you're pregnant, that does not mean that you need to stay with them. I know that people view like a two-parent family is the best family, but if that person is not going to be there for you and your child, there's no point trying to keep them there. If they're going to make the baby's life worse or make your life way more stressful, it doesn't have to be like that. You can do it yourself. I know it's going to be hard because I know it's hard trying to raise a baby by myself, working and going to school full time, but you can do it. I know. If you're going through something like this, you can leave a comment below and I'll comment back to you and give advice if anyone needs some advice. But I think my main point I'm trying to make is I'm just trying to spread this message to everyone that just because you get pregnant at a young age, or you get pregnant and your partner isn't supportive, or you're pregnant and you don't think you're ready to have a kid, you can do it. I believe in you.
Okay, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned for my next video. Most likely I will be filming a Q&A video about myself and my son named Jacob, in case you wanted to know. And thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe and like my video, please. Thank you.
You're so cute.